Hello, good evening. My name is Vidyasagar. I'm a doctoral candidate at the Faculty of Sociology, University of Bielefeld. You are watching Speaking from Margin podcast, episode 1. And today we are going to discuss the role of social media in Indian election with a special reference to upcoming Karnataka Assembly election 2023. For this discussion, we have very distinguished researcher Nikhil Kumar. Nikhil Kumar is a doctoral fellow at the Center for Comparative Politics and Political Theory. His area of research is a social media, narrative building, network society, and election mobilization strategy. For this, I would like to welcome Nikhil sir for this episode. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation.
Thank you so much, Vidyasagar.
So, in this episode, we will discuss some of the very basic and foundational question: how social media is influencing Indian elections. Especially, we'll talk about the Karnataka elections, which is supposed to be happen in later on couple of months, because as we witness how different ideological based parties is constituting different narratives based on the different symbols, different personality. For example, as we witnessed in last couple of weeks, BJP started a different ways of narrative. For example, Tipu Sultan versus V.D. Savarkar. So we are going to discuss these very important issues in this episode. So my first question would be to you: what is difference between narrative and ideology?
First of all, thank you so much, Vidyasagar, for giving me the opportunity to speak here. And let us start from the social media politics. So, as you know, that social media has become the indispensable part of our life. Okay, so in today times, what is happening that all the parties are taking the social media for winning the election or election strategy. So, in the digital times, we are living in digital times. So, all the narratives or the ideologies, they are being set on the social media. For example, as you asked me question about the narrative and social media. So, if you talk about the ideology simply means the set of the ideas by which we try to see the world, socio and political view of the world. So, we trying to understand the world from the ideological perspective, that how is the world. So, narrative simply means to narrate something. So, narrate some ideas about the election campaigning. If you are talking about the Karnataka election, let's talk about the Karnataka election. So, in Karnataka election, before 1 month ago, the BJP Karnataka president, he said that the battle of Karnataka assembly election, upcoming Karnataka assembly election, will be between the Savarkar versus Tipu Sultan agenda. So, in this way, what is happening? They are just focusing on the religious or emotive issue. Okay. The agenda, for example, in the USA, lot of works has been done on the how the agenda is being set by the social media. Like if you see the work of the Philip Howard, Andrew Chadwick, Bruce Bimber, Turge Yarlikaya, there are many lot of works have been done on the how the narrative and ideology is being promoted, articulated, manipulated, propagated on the social media. And what is happening if we are talking about Karnataka election? So, Karnataka has a long history that initially Congress, it was the stronghold of the Congress. And then Janata Dal Secular. So, it is also being said that Karnataka may be the new Gujarat of the South India.
Oh, okay. So, here I would like to intervene. If you look at, as you mentioned, Karnataka has a history of building narratives based in elections. In last couple of years, as we witnessed the modalities of communal politics in Karnataka, so what do you think? This was the pre-planned and I would say the model which has already been very successfully executed in Gujarat. Our BJP is trying to implement the same model in Karnataka, Hindu versus Muslim.
Yeah. What happened in election in nowadays in Indian context, that as you have seen that in Indian politics, there is Gujarat model, the successful Gujarat model of Hindutva. Gujarat is being said, it is always said that Gujarat is the laboratory of the Hindutva. So, in fact, it was successful post Godhra riots and Hindutva
Right.
plus development model.
Right.
So same thing was included all over the India, like in 2014 election,
Right.
in 2019 general election, and again if you go in Karnataka region.
Right.
So like the emotive issue, the religious issue, like Savarkar, concept of Hindu Rashtra. In fact, my PhD also include like role of social media in election campaigning, a comparative study of Gandhi, Ambedkar and Savarkar ideas in India since 2014. Like how the, like if you are talking about the Savarkar and Tipu Sultan, so here the BJP represent the Savarkar idea. So what the Savarkar ideas? Savarkar simply says that this land belongs to Hindus, and the Sangh Parivar and the BJP, Modi, whatever, they focus, they just implement the idea of the Savarkar. So what is the narrative about the Tipu Sultan in Karnataka? So demographically, if you talk about the Karnataka, this is divided into 4 parts. So northern Karnataka, Kalburgi, Belgaudi, and then there is Madras. So
Right.
there are 2 dominant communities there. There is Vokaliga and Lingayat. So in northern Karnataka there is Lingayat. Maximum chief minister of the Karnataka from the Lingayat community.
Right.
Okay. And there is south, there is Vokaliga community.
Right.
So Vokaliga, they are traditionally agriculturists. They were the soldiers at the time.
Right.
So what is the common narrative in the southern Karnataka, like Bangalore region? Okay. So it is common narrative that Tipu Sultan
Right.
killed Vokaliga community.
Right.
So what is BJP using? Since Janata Dal secular, okay, let me tell you the first political issue of the Karnataka. There are 3 main political parties in Karnataka. First is BJP,
Right.
second is Indian National Congress,
Yeah.
and third is Janata Dal secular. So if you talk about that, Congress gets the almost all the section of the society votes. BJP maximum gets the Lingayat community vote.
Right.
Vokaliga votes for the Janata Dal secular.
Right.
So what is happening due to the leadership decline of Janata Dal secular? Vokaliga are just going for the alternative.
Right.
So what is happening? Since there are 2 dominant communities in the Karnataka, Vokaliga and Lingayat, Vokaliga too are joining the BJP.
Right.
This is what happening. So in this case, in all over Karnataka, the BJP is pushing its hard agenda like Hindutva, these issues in a more preference manner.
Right. So I would like to intervene here, as you mentioned that the different dominant caste and their politics, and especially if we'll talk about the Indian National Congress or Bharatiya Janata Party or Janata Dal Secular, their politics has much more focus on the caste-based demography and caste-based politics. But suddenly there's a debate or there's a newsroom discussion started after 2014. IT cells are becoming the control room of Indian elections, where everything, either it's a narrative, it is a caste demography, or either any social fabric of society has been controlled through the IT cells. So later 2014, the social media, television channels, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, these are the important tools which are helping political parties to influence voters, influence electorate. So for our audience, for our viewers, could you tell us something, why later 2014 social media becomes so successful in influencing voters' behavior, election strategies? What is something happened so sudden? Or is it coming from the West? Because if you look at the politics of United States or Europe, somewhere we'll find social media is already very dominating tool to influence voters. So why 2014 is an important juncture where social media becomes so important tool for elections? Could you tell us something briefly about that?
Yeah, very interesting question, Vidyasagar. So basically, you know, social media is the product of the technological advancement in modern times. So technological advancement simply means, you know, in Indian context, when you are talking about the 2014 general election, actually it is not just about 2014 general election. If you see the Anna movement,
right,
like Aam Aadmi Party formation,
yes,
what it was, the Aam Aadmi Party, it is being associated, it was the result of the social media, like Anna movement. So in Indian context, what BJP did, it just used the social media, new technology,
right,
to strengthen its organization.
Right.
Okay, so if you see in post 2014 election, social media has been more influential than the traditional media. in shaping public opinion.
Why?
During election time. I am telling you why. Because social media is too quick, fast. It just mobilizes its cadre, sympathizers in a very short view, in a very short time. So what happens if you just want to viral something? Okay, if you just want to organize your cadre, what you will do? You will just send a WhatsApp message, and they will be united. Okay, first of all. Second, you will see that how the narratives are building. They are being there are two processes. First, how the ideas are. Since you are also talking about IT cells, I will also deal with. So, in the West, there are a lot of work has been done on, like Andrew Keen, the concept of digital Darwinism. So, what he said, what is happening in today's times, that the nexus of politicians, capitalists, they are just creating the hegemony by using social media. So, in Indian context, what is happening, that by using data, political consultancy, they are making strategy on the basis of data. So when they have data, like when you fill any form, election commission form, voter ID form, your medical bills, they get the data automatically. So on the basis of it, they just go into the profile of candidate and just personally send their messages to. And second, what I will go into this, that how the narrative is building in two phases. First, the trends on the social media. For example, there is a demand of the Hindu Rashtra. I am giving the example just. Or 2 October, there is Gandhi Jayanti. So that is Godse Jindabad, hashtag Godse Jindabad. So what happens first, the trends is being set in the social media like Twitter, Facebook. Then what will happen, the traditional media, for example TV, okay, news channels, or in and news channels and also newspapers, they will discuss the issue. So what happens, first the narrative comes into the public domain in social media. Second phase, traditional media discuss it, and then it will become the hot topic. Then we all will discuss.
Absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. Very nice argument you made. So as you mentioned, social media is, I mean, you have given this emphasis on especially, and you also hypothesizing this fact that social media is unavoidable tool. Nobody can avoid this tool, either it's a BJP, Congress or Aam Aadmi Party. So my question to you, how do you see the growth and the rise of capitalist structure like Jio comes into this market? Because the social media exists before Jio, but the way, the intensity of popularization and the intensity of getting viral and the intensity of expansion of news, virals and this such stuff becomes more stronger when Jio has controlled the whole internet market. So do you see the connection between the winning of BJP, then Jio comes into the market? How do you see this connection? Is this, we can say, crony capitalism is trying to promote through these different social media tools? How do you see Jio, BJP and the growth of social media based election campaign?
Very interesting.
Very
question.
brief.
Yeah, okay. So lot of works have been done in the West, like in USA especially, the quantitative works, like in the works of like Philip Howard, Andrew Chadwick. You will see the, like today I discussed the Andrew Keen concept of digital Darwinism. Okay, so what they say, that the nexus of politicians, corporate and capitalists, they just promote their agendas by using, like Noam Chomsky. Noam Chomsky has done work on like agenda setting, how the agenda is being set by using digital times in today times. So in Indian context too, as you talk about the Jio, actually Jio is not a sudden advancement. It's not only related with the internet networking. I will tell you, I will explain in a very brief, that whenever there is a invention of something, those people who are close to that advancement, they get maximum benefits. So what happened before 2014 election, why the Congress is behind its digital marketing, why BJP is ahead? Because it just saw the potential of the social media. So they just, since Gujarat model is all about that capitalist model plus Hindutva, so they just contacted with the industrialist. So in fact, what I personally observed, that since data is a new oil, as you know, data is a new oil. So when there is internet, you know, is a very cheap rate in India.
Right.
at very cheap rate
Right.
compared to Western world.
Right.
So whenever data is at cheap rate, the people, the youth of India, they just scroll Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, social media platform. In this way, what is happening? They are being addictive of the social media.
Right.
So they even don't recognize what is valid, what is not valid, what is the fake news, what is the disinformation, and what is
Right.
something.
Right.
So what is happening when data is no costlier? So they are using social media, and by using social media, the political parties are using election campaigning. So in this way, Geo is also the product of the nexus. What I will say that
Right.
the digital Darwinism, what is happening in today time, the
Right.
survival of the fittest.
Right.
Okay.
So this will be our last round of question. Be brief. I have 4 questions to you and answer it one by one. First, do you think social media can enable or social media can give us strength to those party who are based on the caste-based politics? For example, Bahujan Samaj Party, like JDU, RJD. Why? Is there any potential to change the dynamics of Indian politics by using social media by different caste-based political parties? Because as we witness, or as you told in this discussion, the dominant political parties like Bharatiya Janata Party, Indian National Congress, they are much more consuming this influence of, or consuming the strength of this social media. What about the small parties, caste-based political parties? Very brief. First question to you.
Very good question, Vidyasagar. So, if you talk about the caste-based political party or social justice political
Yes,
party,
yes, yes, absolutely.
okay, I will give you the successful example. You take the example of YSR Reddy. Take the example of DMK. They successfully manage the social media. That's why they are in power. So, in this way, what you are saying, like Bahujan Samaj Party, yeah, any other party, they just first of all need to understand the importance of social media. For example,
Right.
BJP was the first party in India who understood the importance of the social media.
Right.
And like, in DMK, Stalin is in power, KCR is in power, and like Reddy is in power. So why? They just understood the importance of social media, and
Right.
now that's why they are giving the welfare scheme to the people, and they are winning it by the social media.
Right.
So that's your answer.
Right.
Yes.
Perfect. Second question. What's your prediction about Karnataka State Assembly election? Do you think the communal politics will win, or do you think secular party will come into the power?
It's difficult to say that who will win. It's the battle of the narratives. Who wins the battle will win the elections. So it's up to the people of the Karnataka who will decide. But the dominant narrative is Tipu Sultan versus and Hindutva. All the other like corruption, 50%, and in unemployment, bail gadi issues, okay, all other issues, they are not into the mainstream. But I will again say that it's the wisdom of the people who will
Right.
decide
Right.
the action, further course of action.
Right. So, third question. As this podcast has been designed for the research scholar, so being a doctoral fellow at the CPPT, would you like to suggest some of the key readings, some of the key books, if somebody is interested to work in this domain of social media, politics, election, and state?
Okay, yeah, you can read like on social media, you can simply read the Andrew Chadwick, Bruce Bimber, okay, Turge Yarlikaya, Andrew Keen, Digital Darwinism. Okay, in Indian context, you can also read Dr. Raj Paridhar. Okay, or Savarkar, you can read like Savarkar and social media, yeah, Gandhi or social media. In fact, like Sangeeta Mahapatra, okay, Ambedkar and social media, you can also read like content analysis of different NGOs. If you will just search or scroll on the Google, you will find lot of like Gandhi and Savarkar, Ambedkar and Savarkar on social media. You will find these things on social media. On democracy, since we are political science students, you all know that democracy we all can read like basic books of like Samuel Huntington, Indian voter Sunil Silnani, and Idea of India, and then Ranjit Guha, and
Right.
like for political science student you can read like Andrew Haywood and like Ashok Bhargavacharya. They are the basic to understand the basic of the
Right,
concept.
right.
Yes.
So, in nutshell, I would like to conclude this discussion. We are living in the age of internet. We are living in the age of social media, where democracy has been profoundly moved around the politics of social media, politics of narrative, and politics of ideological battle. So we will back with another episode on different political issues, social issues and current issues. So I would like to thank Nikhil for enlightening us and giving such a very innovative and epistemologically rich thoughts and idea to our audience, to our viewers. And definitely we will come to you with another episode. And I would like to thank Ganesh Gaigoria for helping in this technological tools through recording and managing the discussion. And finally, bye-bye, take care. We'll back with another episode. Thank you so much. Watch, subscribe and share.